is up, guys? For this video I'm going to be deleting my blow-off valve. I made a video doing the same thing about 4 years ago on my first turbocharged Dakota, and it was very popular, but that video was horrible. The quality is just bad. I was using my old GoPro, which had terrible audio. All I had was in-car footage of the noise, and it was just bad. And of course the truck it was on wasn't properly set up either. This truck is getting ripped apart this winter to update the entire setup, and this turbo will no longer be on here or anything. I won't be running that valve anymore. So I figured, since I kind of need to drain all the E85 out of this thing anyway, I figured right now would be the best time to send it and take this blow-off valve off, block it off, get rid of it completely. I got a couple of pipes sitting right there, and do a good old blow-off valve delete just for old time's sake. And then we're going to go out and get some in-car footage driving it. We'll also get some flybys real quick. I got my little spot. I'm going to get the old tripod here set up out on a road out somewhere. I'm still having the third gear issue, so I'm not going to be just wailing on the thing, but we'll get some good turbo flutter sounds for you guys from both the interior and the exterior. So deleting your blow-off valve on something like this is very simple. You literally just take out the pipe with the valve and replace it with a pipe that doesn't. If you have a car that has a recirculating valve or, you know, a factory blow-off valve, it's going to be very difficult to eliminate. Why would you want to delete your blow-off valve? Well, there's really only one reason to do it, and that is just for the turbo flutter sound. There's really no other reason to do it. Now, if you have a blow-off valve that is leaking, this could, you know, fix that issue as well. But blow-off valves are good for performance because they maintain a set amount of pressure in your charge piping, but they also relieve enough to keep the turbo happy. That's why adjustable blow-off valves are a thing, is you can set them up just right so that the turbo and all the charge piping has a little bit of boost in it, so that after a shift you get back into the power, that there's a little bit of pressurized air still in there, so you don't just fall out of boost completely between shifts. An upgraded blow-off valve is always the right way to go if you're having, you know, a blow-off valve is bleeding pressure off. And also, just unplugging the line running to the blow-off valve is not the appropriate way to delete one. You have to completely remove it. Otherwise, the way a blow-off valve works is you have, when you're under boost, pressure actually holds the thing shut, and it's the unequalness of the pressure, you know, pressure in your charge piping and then vacuum in your intake manifold that sucks it open, essentially. So there's always a little bit of preload on it so that, you know, the thing isn't just flapping around. But if you were to just pull this line and cap it and cap the line off there, you would end up with boost pressure pushing out of the valve and you'd have a giant boost leak. So there's no performance reason to ever delete a blow-off valve unless you're having an issue and you're trying to do a quick fix. The only reason you would ever want to do it is for the turbo flutter noise, and that's why I'm doing it, is just to have a little bit of fun with it. This isn't going to hurt the turbo. I'm not making a ton of boost. This thing makes, at its peak, 7 pounds boost. We aren't going to see any turbo scattering parts everywhere, and if it does happen, I'm done with this thing for the year. This turbo's not going back on here anyway, so it doesn't matter. That's it. I'm going to set you guys up on the tripod. We're going to time-lapse the quick little removal of the blow-off valve, and then we're going to go and get some driving and listen to this thing. There we go. Valve is off. New elbow is in. Ended up going with the short one. This coupler's kind of twisted, but this is just me screwing around. This isn't something permanent, so that is alright. Also, got the line just plugged off. Eventually, if I were to make this permanent, I would put an actual plug on the intake, but like I said, I'm just screwing around here having a little bit of fun. So, I guess I'll make sure there's enough fuel in this thing to do this. Fire it up, let it warm up, move cars out of the way so I can get this thing out, and then we'll go and get some driving shots and listen to some turbo flutter. Alright, ready to go take it for a little drive. Footage is going to be very shaky on the seat. I can't really do much about it. If I use the GoPro, you guys would have horrible audio and not be able to hear anything, so this will work. At least you guys are trying to listen to it more than watch it. This should be a nice throwback for those of you who've been following the channel since the first Dakota that I turbocharged. You guys will probably, a lot of you probably came here from that video, in fact, because that was one of my more popular ones from that build. Like I said, third gear is very angry, so we won't be able to just pound it into third. Gotta shift nice and easy into third. That sound, I don't know why, it's just something about that sound is just so funny. I have to shift super slow into third because I do not want to tear this gear up. All that's wrong with it is a synchronizer, which is why I'm just taking my time between the shifts. The synchronizer's still there, but it's not 100% there anymore. It's maybe 50% of it might still be there. Alright. That'll be the end of this clip. Get you guys set up on the tripod and we'll do a couple of little flybys, get you guys some outside Flutter, and then we'll bring this thing back home and call it a day. Alright, well, I would call that a success. Definitely a fun little thing to do before I go and tear this thing apart and can't drive it till spring comes back. So I've been wanting to do that for a while, but it just never really happened because I had no reason to. I didn't really want to mess with anything on it because everything was working so well. And when something's working as well as this was, you don't mess with it. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm definitely glad that I got some good driving shots. It was really dark and there was a surprising amount of traffic going up and down that road. It's not like I was speeding or doing a burnout or anything. I was just cruising by and making noise. But every time I had to turn around, there was a car in the way, which was really annoying. And then one person like stopped. We'll see if it's on the camera. One person like stopped and must have been trying to figure out what the camera was. Probably couldn't tell what it was, and then kept going. It was kind of weird. So I kind of did a few pulls and then left before somebody stole my camera or called the police or something. Which that spot's outside of town, so it's out of the local police jurisdiction. But whatever. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed. Like I said, there is no reason to do this performance-wise. It is just for the sound. There is no legitimate reason other than just your enjoyment to delete your blow-off valve. But if it's something that you want to do, go ahead and do it. I did it. And it was definitely a lot of fun. This isn't going to be a permanent thing. I'll be running a blow-off valve on it in the future. But wanted to screw around and have some fun with this thing before it gets taken apart. So with that, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you later.